It was in 2018 during TiECon, before TiECon, that TiE Kerala created this program called Capital Cafe. TiE Kerala is an organization, TiE Global is an organization with a total focus on fostering entrepreneurship. And Capital Cafe was started with the objective of helping young entrepreneurs raise capital. We all know one of the biggest challenges faced by young entrepreneurs, startups today, is raising capital. And with that objective, it was in 2018 that we started Capital Cafe. Our team, we had a team, my team member that last year was Roy, chartered accountant from Trivandrum. And we had a lot of learning last year. We improved on those learnings. We corrected our mistakes. We improved wherever we could. And this year, the second Capital Cafe is coming to a culmination. And we brought in a bigger team. Mr. Ravindranath Kamath of Next Education joined our team. And also from the TiE office, we had Akhil Lokos helping us, assisting us. This year, in addition to Cochin, we had regional pitch fests in 5 different locations in Kerala, starting with Calicut, Trichy, Cochin, Kottayam and Trivandrum. And we received 150 applications for funding. From those, during the regional pitches, we picked out 20 of the best, and they were given highly focused training on how to improve their pitches and how to improve their business model. And after all these grooming, training and mentoring, they were allowed to pitch in front of 20 of the best investors of the country. Compared to last year, one area where we have gone way ahead, because last year we had only 2 investors. This year, instead of 2, we brought in 20 of the best investors of the country for the young entrepreneurs to pitch their ideas. The final pitching happened on 21st August at Cochin itself. And to give you some insights on what happened, I request the team to play a small video which we have prepared.
TiE is single-handedly committed to fostering entrepreneurship through mentoring, education, networking, incubation and funding.
The startup system itself is budding, and then it is in a nascent stage and it is evolving. So I would say this is from let's say comparing 2 years back, we're in a much more mature stage and a much more serious investments are coming from this area.
Startups require a lot of support, right? And Kerala, on the whole, I've seen that the entire ecosystem is coming together in a very big way. Spearheaded by the government to support the ecosystem in Kerala. And Capital Cafe, I think reaching out to startups throughout Kerala is important. I think Capital Cafe does that.
It was visible in the 20 entrepreneurs who pitched today. They were of extremely good quality, very well curated. So I think it's a great platform for entrepreneurs.
They are able to not only bring investors from outside Kerala, but they also curated investors within Kerala. And that's what made it very special, because now people are actually seeing jointly the opportunities which are available in Kerala.
I think it's a great initiative taken by the government and by TiE team also of Kerala, and giving the startups to come and present their cases.
All of us know the biggest challenge faced by startups around the world is raising capital. And we thought the best, most ideal name for that event that we are visualizing as to call it Capital Cafe.
It is great to see that through the Capital Cafe, the TiE is extending across the state and identifying the talent and then bringing them, curating them, and then linking them with potential investors. And I think that's the way the ecosystem should move.
It was a great experience to learn from the marquee investors what are the shortfalls we have, what should be focused on, and more than that, how we have to pitch in front of the investors. So it was altogether Capital Cafe was a great experience.
I want an entrepreneur in every home. I think Kerala deserves that.
TiE Kerala and Capital Cafe, they have done a tremendous job in terms of connecting us to the right kind of mentors and grooming us for all the speaking events.
That was Capital Cafe in a nutshell for you. I'm happy to say that more than 5 startups are having ongoing discussions with investors. Today, and we have 2 serious deals that have almost reached final stages. 2 investors are going to come to the stage and announce the startups they have identified from this 20. First, I request Mr. Balram Nair from Chennai Angels to come to the stage and to announce the name of the startup they've identified. Please.
Hi, good afternoon. And thanks, Roshan, for terming Chennai Angels as the best startup or one of the best, best investor or one of the best investors. Good to hear that. Right? I've been happy. Kerala is very close to my heart. Although I'm a Malayali, I've been born out of Kerala, not my choice. Grew up in Kerala, again, not my choice. Out of Kerala, not my choice. But then I think coming back to Kerala at some point of time, I think it is with me, right? Although predominantly my wife controls that decision, I think still I can try and influence at some point of time. And this ecosystem is something that I think fuels that thought or helps me take the decision to know whether I can associate myself more with Kerala. And that is genuinely what I would want to do at some point of time. Capital Cafe has been something phenomenal. I was, in fact, when I told my boss that I would want to concentrate on Kerala as a market, I think he had a doubt. He's saying, why you wanted to go to Kerala? Is it genuinely the startups or the ecosystem, or you have something else in mind? And a couple of companies that I took from here are actually proven so. And today I have a straight, directive saying that you need to concentrate on Kerala as a market. Right? And that completely goes to Capital Cafe. And it is not just Capital Cafe. I'm sure it has to be the entire ecosystem. Kerala that way is unique because it is not Cochin as an ecosystem. It is Kerala as an ecosystem, and that is not seen anywhere else. You don't find Tamil Nadu as an ecosystem. You always talk about Chennai as an ecosystem or Bangalore as an ecosystem, right? But I think Kerala has that advantage of being Kerala as an ecosystem. So you have the entire state that is backing you up. And with the government laying the foundation of this entire movement, I think Kerala has progressed in the right way. Otherwise, people start building it from the roof and then go down. Here, I think the foundation is laid for you to go up. Saying so, a couple of good startups that we found at Capital Cafe, a couple of discussions that we're going ahead, just that one has moved faster than the other. But I don't think this might be the only one that we would look at eventually, but then we would look at more than this one. The company that we really liked and we have progressed faster is Lamara. Could we have Anto or Lamara on stage, please? So we have quite progressed in our discussions. We really like this as a company. We have on the final stages of discussion, and hopefully, if all goes well, we would be actively looking at partnering with Lamara.
Next, I request Nashid Ninar from Times Group to come to the dais.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Nashid Ninar from Brand Capital, Times of India. So we are the investment arm of Times of India. So essentially, our investment model is a little different from the normal PEs or the VCs. What we do is we give advertisement currency in exchange of shares. So we had participated in the Capital Cafe organized in August, and we were quite excited to see great prospects, good companies emerging out of Kerala. One of those companies which we've identified is Bunbury, which is into reusable diapers. So I'd like to invite Mr. Kutty Krishnan, the promoter of Bunbury. So while he's coming onto the stage, I'll just give a brief. So Mr. Kutty Krishnan, he was a professor in IM Kozhikode and ISB. Comes with a good credentials. So almost 10 years experience in the education industry before coming to launch this startup. So I think it's around 2014 that he launched this startup. And then, as we speak, they've got a revenues of around 5 crores so far. And then last year has been predominantly good. Their products are available in Amazon, Flipkart, FirstCry, etc. So right now, he needs to propel to the next level of growth. So that's where we thought, our intervention or our help would be good to scale up his business. So that's the reason why we have invested in them. So the negotiation, as in the discussions are still underway. We've given the indicative term sheet. So we hope to close out this deal soon. Essentially it is about the product, it is about the promoter and the market. So we go by a 3D strategy, I'll say. It's about differentiation, disruption and domination. So Bunbury is ticking those boxes with us. So we hope to see some great traction, and then Bunbury growing itself into a great brand based out of Kerala.
Now I request the man who has created Kerala Startup Mission, Mr. Sivasankar IAS, to come to the stage and hand over a small memento to these 4 gentlemen. Request Mr. Sivasankar to address the gathering after this. Yeah.
Good afternoon. I don't think I am expected to make a speech. I'm actually expected to hand over the mementos, which I have done. But having got the microphone and after getting a captive audience, I think I will have, and this is something which our magician has not made it vanish. So that is something which says I have 14:30 left. So I will try to use that 14:30, whatever is time that is shown, to share my anguish and my experience in the last 3-4 years while working in this ecosystem. Many of you here may not actually know me. Few of you must have met me in occasions. I never come to these type of conferences or seminars. I don't think I have attended a TiE conference in the last 5 years, if not more. I happened to join the government much earlier. My white hair explains that. But when the IT department in government was set up, I happened to be its first employee. So from 96 onwards, I have been in IT department. Of course, I moved on. I moved over to various other departments. The good part is that when you will never forget your first love and your first job. So since my first job was in the IT department, I always continue to flirt with IT wherever I am. So I have kept track of what has been happening in IT and what has evolved in IT over a period of time, the ecosystem type of thing. And wherever I went, whichever organizations I went, I have tried to ensure that the linkages which we had with IT are used into those sectors and segments effectively. Last 3 years, when I took over IT department, and we had a small team which got rearranged and repositioned, we have been trying to look at the whole Kerala ecosystem in a slightly different way. That is where we really started talking about Kerala as an ecosystem, as Balram had pointed out earlier, instead of talking about Trivandrum or Kochi as an ecosystem. In the country, if there is one geography which has emerged as an ecosystem, it is Kerala. Rest of them are all city-based activities which are happening. And if you look at the country as a whole, where a solid base, a foundation has been built, bricks have been laid one by one, and a structure has been evolved that has happened in Kerala. So we have an amazing story, amazing experience, which we are very willing to share to other states. And I believe in the next 2-3 years, Kerala would actually find itself talking to other states, counseling other states, advising other states on how to take this journey forward. As an Indian, I believe that this movement cannot be restricted to Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, NCR, Bombay type of options. India as a country would evolve. The demographic dividend would get leveraged only if this type of story happens in Jharkhand and Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan and all. That is why I was so happy to listen to Ankit from Kanpur, where he had done something very remarkable, either in the social enterprise or whatever. Now, so we have more or less the script ready, we have more or less the building blocks identified, and we know how to take it forward. That is primarily, and I'm talking about this with great confidence because we have actually done that, and we have done that with our hands, and we know how to do it. So for the rest of the country also, we are in a position to do it. But there are 3 things where I am extremely unhappy, and that is why I thought that this forum would be a very ideal forum to share that anguish. The first point is, reason for continuing to be restless or unhappiness is about the type of support which corporates or individual companies can provide to this ecosystem. That is extremely limited in a system like Kerala. Every company who is a member of TiE or a CI or a NASCOM type of thing is supposed to spend a certain amount of, is in a position to actually contribute so much to this ecosystem by identifying and nurturing a few, 1 or 2 startups or adopting one company. I have 1,830 startups or so, last year's Inc. report. This year we will know what it happens. If 200 companies in Kerala had adopted one startup each, and made it a point that this particular startup is going to be my baby, and I'm going to put my bets on this and make it into a big thing, Kerala would have been different. Nobody has done that. Nobody. I'm extremely thankful to the TiE leadership today because this Capital Cafe, we had what we call as a Seeding Kerala event, which primarily brought in a lot of funding agencies from all over the country. We brought in startups and put them together in a platform, and mentoring and even seed fund requirements was somewhat met. Yes, period. Then Roshan had taken over this initiative of organizing this Capital Cafe and putting it to an institutional form. Good, that's where the industry partnership or TiE's very big contribution has come in there. Beyond that, looking in this audience itself, I can at least identify 10 or 15 people who could have adopted startups. if each of you take on at least one startup, and I'm telling you, you won't, you'll be surprised by the type of startups. Have you ever thought about a startup which would make disposable diapers? Don't you think that is something which will be of value, which will be of interest, which will actually make it work? This is something which Roshan's Capital Cafe had identified through a huge process, and Times Group has now funding into them. Why is it a Times Group funding into them? Or why is it an angel fund who, as Balram indicated, who was not born in Kerala, was not brought up in Kerala, whose relationship with Kerala, the fact that he goes to Kerala often is looked at with great suspicion. That type of people, why do they have to come and do it? Why are we not doing it? That is the first point of anguish. The second is a very interesting thing. This is okay. This is something we generally, as Keralites, as a group, are extremely pessimistic. We don't believe in anything. We know how to find faults with everything, and we have suggestions and recommendations on how to improve things. So we won't do anything. So that part I'm comfortable with, since I know Kerala quite well. The fact that companies have not been adopted is something which I can understand. But I'm just trying to put it into perspective. Can we change a bit and try to do something in future? The second part is more interesting. We have set up what we call as the fund of funds, which is primarily government has invested, let's say 15 crores, that we were asked SEBI accredited funds to come in and put in an equal amount of money. And this 30 crores was given to these two SEBI accredited funds. And we asked them, keep this money, go and look for startups, find those startups who require money, select them, put the money into them, give us back our 15 crores at the end of 3 years. This we started in 2017. So the two funds which came forward, they said that, yeah, it would take us 3 years to identify companies, put the money into them, get back the money. So 3 years we won't be able to give you back the money, but it will take for us 3 years to identify the startup and put the money. So we also thought, yeah, Kerala is, I mean, it's not perhaps that hot a property type of thing. 1 year down the line, the one angel fund, which actually took 10 crores of 15 crores, completed this 20 crore investment, and they came back to us saying that we are in a position to give you back this entire money in the next 2 years, and we have had a return of around 25% of the money we put in. So we got quite excited. So we launched the second round of funds. This time 4 funds participated. Now I'm putting in 30 crores. This time we became a bit smarter. We said that I'm giving you 30 crores. You can't just bring in 30 crores. I'm bidding how much money you can bring in. So they have committed something else. But these 4 funds came together and said that, look, the 4 funds between us have a total corpus of 1,000 crores. And they said that, look, when we go down and try out these companies, when we go down and try out these, what would I say, evaluate these startups, we are spending too much of time and effort into this, and if we find a larger number of startups, then we don't mind investing 1,000 crores into these startups. So I have practically lined up around 1,000 crores of money which can get into this startup ecosystem. The most interesting part is not that. This company is again one of these funds which are now doing in the second level. They came back to us and said that, look, my fund, I'm supposed to invest 60 crores or so into this thing. Government is giving him 10 crores or 15 crores. So this 60 crores, Kaylee, I need to structure a fund of 100 crores. I am in a position to close this 100 crores because I have Gujarati businessmen and Marwari businessmen in a position to, believing in me, is in a position to invest 100 crores into that. Not a single Kerala-based industrialist or entrepreneur has invested 1 rupee into this fund. And he has met almost every person in Kerala, telling him that, look, this money I am promising you, my experience says that you are getting a return of 25%. And this entire money in the first fund was being invested by people from Gujarat and Maharashtra. I want people who have the high net worth individuals from Kerala who have surplus money to be part of the fund and benefit from the fund. Nobody has invested. Then he said that I think something is seriously wrong with the state. When you have a golden opportunity, everybody talks about lack of investment opportunities type of this thing. He says, I'm not guaranteeing an investment. I have credentials. I am in SEBI accredited fund. This is what I'm trying to do, and nobody is interested even. So what is wrong? This is the second major point of anguish. So he said, I've given up. I will go and raise money from Gujarat and Maharashtra and continue to invest this thing. Fine. You people don't want to grow your money. We people want to grow our money by investing it in a bank fixed deposit which gives you 7.5% interest. Nothing more. I'm surprised by this lack of this thing. See, one thing, this ecosystem gets built only if people as a whole believe in it. And this is a massive setback. The third thing which I would like to again share with you is the story of Nawalt. This young man who is sitting here, he built the first solar boat in the country, Aditya. This solar boat costs 25% more than a normal boat. Okay. He got one order in the last 3 years. All of us sitting here can make lot of comments about lot of things. Not a single person talked about why Aditya is not getting a second order. Within the state, outside the country. Now the State Water Transport Department, which brought Aditya, I don't know who was the director, who was the secretary, who had the courage to buy a boat which cost 25% more in Kerala, without having a fear of vigilance or media scrutiny or whatever type of thing. Somebody took the risk and bought it. Okay. Now there is a second tendering which is going on. Now they want to buy 3 boats. They will have to go through a tender process. And when the tender process comes, now people from outside the country, outside the state have ganged up and they are participating in the tender and they will ensure that this guy is finished. This is the real market situation which happens. What is the noise that we are making for him? What is the lobbying that we are making for him? What is the stance with the corporate Kerala is making for him? It's silence. Absolute silence. So these are the 3 points which I really would like TiE to think about. 1, I want your successful businesses to adopt startups, at least one startup, not more than, or 2 of you adopt one startup. If you can adopt 10 or 20 startups, it is a great thing. 2, can you start investing in alternate investment funds, which in turn will fund startups in Kerala? We have put in place a mechanism. Can you please do that? 3, can you start celebrating successes? Can you start celebrating successes of local people? If we can do the 3 of these things, Kerala ecosystem would grow a very long way. That's all that I have to tell you. Thank you. Thank you very much.